This is gonna be the last episode of her story, I think. So enjoy it with me. I think it's gonna be cut up just like our little voyeuristic voyage was the whole time. So you're gonna watch me in little clips, watch her in little clips, to make sense of it all, to build this whole story. Hello, this is Brani. I'm playing her story, and I'm going to start look for random words now. Well, there's a new one. Wow. Okay, let's have a look at it.
No, he doesn't have any tattoos. He has a scar down here near his stomach, past his hip. Cut himself with some glass. That was before, a long time ago. He looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though. He takes them off with the camera. But he needs them to see properly, you know, when he has to read a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not books so much, or watching TV. He likes TV.
Okay. This brings us to a new clip also. That is very nice. Let's have a look.
Look, on his clothes, that would make sense. He made it by hand. I mean, he brushes the silver onto the glass. It's not how they make mirrors these days. I mean, he made the mirror, and he gave it to me.
I think it's brilliantly played by her, because you actually really believe that it's a present, that it was a present for her, and that she's genuinely in love with him and loves this present so much.
I haven't been into work. I guess I've just been waiting to hear from you, hear from my husband.
Waiting to hear from you or husband on the 25th. Well, yeah. This is the same day.
Okay, I'll try my best to remember.
Oh, there's new clips about the cat. That is really interesting.
When we weren't together, we'd send secret messages by tapping out a code that we'd learned from a book, the knock code. Something prisoners of war would use. We'd tap them out on radiator pipes or the attic floor. Dad thought we had mice, but they couldn't find any. Bought a cat anyway.
Well, okay, this is the code that she used when she was alone in the room. And the camera was running. Ah, I thought it was Morse code. Someone in the comments thought it was Morse code. And I couldn't decipher it, because it's probably not Morse, but some other code.
We loved our cat, Domino. He had this little bell around his neck to stop him from killing birds in the garden. And we used to write each other notes and put them in the bell, and we could send them to each other. Mum found some of the notes once, and she thought I was just writing to myself because our handwriting was identical. And we had our own words for things, so she didn't quite understand them anyway.
Okay, 2 new clips for marriage. That is very nice. On the first, which should be Eve, and on the third, which should be Eve also.
Simon was very moral about that sort of thing. He wouldn't just walk out there and sleep with anyone. He wasn't that kind of guy. He took his marriage very seriously.
Simon took his marriage very seriously.
After the kiss, the next time, he took me back to the house, to our parents' house, to their house. So, it was definitely him. I sometimes think he wanted to get caught to prove to himself that we were different people. He told me about his marriage, told me how his wife was completely different to me. I almost burst out laughing.
Okay, so after the kiss that I will investigate in a second, the two talked about his marriage. Well, that is interesting. Apparently they had some kind of connection. So what kind of kiss was that? Currently my cat is sitting on my notes and having her tail right on my keyboard, which is a little inconvenient, but okay.
Nothing else happened that night. We talked, then I said goodbye. Then next week I was singing in the bar again, and there he was. And again the next week, he offered to buy me a meal. I told him I had already eaten, and so we got chips and ate them on the beach instead. When we said goodbye, he asked me to kiss him. Romantic.
Wow. So Simon and Eve really bonded. After Simon left Hannah, if I get that right?
Yes. I thought about telling Hannah. I felt guilty after the kiss. But then it began to feel like this was the way it should be. Sharing, like we had before. He never mentioned her to me. There was the Simon with me and the Simon with her. It was almost like it was a different Simon. But
something unfolded, which probably made Hannah go crazy, I guess.
we were obsessed with fairy tales. Not just the pretty, pretty ones, but the traditional ones. They were dark and real, bizarre and violent. Felt like life. We had this huge old book that I think Mum must have bought from a library sale. The illustrations had thin tracing paper over them to protect them. They were in colour, shiny plates. At the front of the book was an index of illustrations. We read that more than the actual stories. We'd read aloud the captions and flip between the pictures. There was something intimate about peeling back the tracing paper, undressing the pictures. Rapunzel's hair is cut. The eagle plucks out his heart. The princess pricks her finger.
We love fairy tales. Let's just look directly for Rapunzel. I knew there would be more. It's like a leitmotif somehow.
Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me. Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it. Oh, any of these in colour?
27th, I still believe it's Eve. Although, I don't know. Well, probably it is.
Did I pass? Sorry, I messed it up with all that Rapunzel stuff. Do you need me to do that card again?
So let's check what kind of card test that is. Oh, love gets us a few hits.
Thanks. Please find Simon. I love him so much. No. I mean, everyone loves Simon. He was so nice to everyone. He loves me.
I feel like I watched this before. I think probably the other sister was asked the same question and answered the same way. Everyone loves Simon.
Cute. You must love them very much. What ages are they?
Okay, there's a new wife clip. Nice.
Well, she has a knife. She's been cooking, I guess. She's been cooking him his favourite meal. She's his wife. And he's asleep and she doesn't want to wake him because he's ill. That's why she's sad. Because he's ill and he might die. It's kind of a sad story, so I'm not sure how it ends.
That test. Wow, I don't get it. I don't get the test. She's looking at one picture and extrapolating so much information and story. It's astonishing. He might die because he's...
Yeah. They'd gone to bed feeling ill, thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me. I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed. Just awful. It was so soon after my miscarriage. The worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that it was just like, fuck.
Okay, found the parents dead in their bed. So soon after miscarriage.
Yeah. I mean, I was infertile. Thought I was. They told me I was infertile after the miscarriage because of complications.
Okay. If she's infertile after her miscarriage, then the other sister got pregnant. Then Eve got pregnant. But that is what we thought the whole time. So, yeah.
Hannah had a miscarriage. This was late in the pregnancy and it left her infertile. Felt like the universe had corrected its course. We were aligned again. But Hannah and Simon were still living with his parents. They were married. Simon had a job at the Glaziers now. Derek had given him a full-time position after he left school. And then...
Yeah, it looks like she really wasn't fertile after miscarriage. Universe corrected. Course. That is a dire statement by your sister, if you ask me. Wow. She's asking for justice when she's really asking for cruelty, in my opinion. Ah, look at that.
It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have a meal at home. We had our meal. He gave me his present. I guess I didn't like the present.
What kind of present? Didn't she get the mirror? I think it was more like, hey, it was my birthday. I told you about my sister and you didn't want her to move in, so we fought. But I don't know.
From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake, children sang me happy birthday, then I came home. The birthday meal was a takeaway, and Simon gave me his present, which I didn't mind. And after that, we talked about the baby. It turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could and get some space to think. So I left.
These random words yield new results. I find that really funny, actually. That is kind of chaotic, but it works, so why not?
He saw me singing one of my shows. Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. He guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, well, that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time. He didn't tell me he was married. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He later told me it was like he was dreaming. A waking dream.
How surreal, yeah. I guess she's talking about Simon. She never even mentioned his name, but it must be him. He met me at one of my shows. So will we find anything about her singing shows? Well, maybe.
So I moved out. Got a small bed set. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion. I was singing in a bar in the evenings. So I had some money, enough money to cover my rent. And I've been doing something similar ever since. I haven't put down any roots. I don't exist.
No roots, life after moving out. I don't exist. Wow. It gets sadder and sadder, actually. Well, at some point in the story I was just freaked out. Now I think it's so surreal and so sad. How could she have been living this life as the dark hidden sister without she really has no existence, basically. She was just a reflection in the mirror.
Okay. There's a girl and she's staring out of the window. She's sad. She's trapped. She's here. She's looking out the window because her mother won't let her out.
And she's projecting her own experiences into these pictures much, I have the feeling. Girl staring out of the window.
She's crying, I guess. She's sad because she thought she saw her husband with another woman. But it's okay, because she finds out it wasn't her husband, it was his brother. And so it's fine.
Husband, brother, I don't know how I will be able to discern all these clips from one another. It's just too much. Let's look for husband while we're at it. Oh, there's a new one. Nice.
It was supposed to be a secret. Just because Simon is dead, it doesn't mean I have to give up all his secrets. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to Simon. No one murdered my husband because he cheated his expenses for a romantic weekend in Oxford.
Oxford. This is where we're going now. With a D, though. Oh, yeah.
There was a conference, something to do with double glazing, in Oxford. Are you sure? What would he be doing in Oxford if there was no conference? I remember calling him. He said it was boring and he spent most of the time at the bar.
And then she confesses that they had a romantic getaway. I want to see if there's anything more about the word romantic. And no. Maybe weekend. Well, there's 2 weekend things. Awesome.
A week or so ago. It would have been the Saturday before my birthday. You know, I get like that on the weekends, have a lie-in, then want to get up and blitz the house.
Cleaning on the weekends? Do I get this right? Is that her hobby? I actually can understand that. That's pretty fun.
And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children. Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. You know? Plus, he had that look. He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books.
Oh, there's some Prince clips. Nice.
Let me see. Yes. I drove in here because I remember well I went over the river, and then there was a church there. Yeah. And I probably parked. Well, I remember seeing a street sign called Princess Street. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it must be this one. There.
It's probably where she was in Glasgow. Glasgow details. I reckon that's what it is.
I don't know if anyone really changes. You just become more yourself. Simon was my prince, and that hasn't changed.
Yeah, but you're not his princess anymore, apparently. Not after he died, of course, but even before not. Fairy tales are over.
Simon never cheated on me. He was devoted to me, and I was devoted to him. Nothing in life is easy. We were good to each other. Life isn't a fairy tale. You do what you can.
Yes, life isn't a fairy tale. But life is good, though. I just want to make that clear. But it can hit you pretty bad.
Well, she wasn't my real mother, but she raised me. Do you want to hear the story? It's a real-life fairy tale.
Of course I want to hear the story. Okay, that's pretty early. This must be before Florence story. Come on, Barani. Can't you type anymore? Seems you can't.
Fairy tales. Stories about lost princesses, evil witches, magical mirrors, and lost children. So you see, even before I knew the truth, I'd found it in those stories.
So her worldview was molded by these fairy tales, it seems. Truth in fairy tales, before I knew it. I don't think that's a healthy view on the world, a healthy perspective. Oh, there's a hit for Desperate. Nice. 5 seconds long only.
You must be desperate for leads if you're getting hung up over 6-month-old speeding tickets.
I feel like I'm missing several sides of the story. This whole trip getaway romantic thing, for example. Speeding ticket. Maybe there's something in there.
I remember the ticket, of course. I paid it without telling Simon. Didn't want to get told off. And they put points on the license.
Okay, ticket paid off without telling Simon, but I don't get what this is all about. She talked about the driver license before. But actually only one of them is really the driver, right? The other one almost crashed a car trying to get a license. So I don't think if she's driving at all. So who is the driver? Wasn't Hannah the driver? Then because then Eve must have been at home and Eve must have been killing him when she really was away at the point. But maybe she wasn't even away at the point, because she planted the clock with the certain time on it. It's all not really 100% clear for me.
Sure, I think. I do all the bills and paperwork and handle all the money stuff, so it should be easy for me to find. Do you want them dropped off to you?
Paperwork, stuff, whatever. Where's this?
Okay. I've given blood before. Do you need to take that for your records?
So they were talking about blonde hair that they found, but these girls have brunette hair, don't they? So maybe there's something else to find.
No. I think he spoke to Helen. She said he was upset about her argument, but I'm not sure what else he said. He likes Helen. He likes blondes.
Is that any importance? And who is Helen? Oh, it's the waitress. I get it.
On his throat. How?
I think you put it there. I could be wrong though.
Like I said before, it was 3, something like that. I walked in, saw Simon. He was on the floor of the living room. His throat had been cut. There was a lot of blood. He was dead.
A lot of blood. I want to search for blood. Maybe that has more. Oh yeah.
Nothing like this has ever happened to me before. The blood. It's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
What does it mean? Worst thing ever happened. I don't get that. What context?
Well, fine, considering. I got back into the house today, and that was weird, knowing your people had been there through my things. It's like I'd been burgled. I mean, worse, obviously. I don't know. I haven't looked in the cellar yet. They sent a cleaner in. As good as new, he said. But they have to put some stuff out.
How macabre.
Get the blood out. And I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for the funeral. It's going to be a cremation. So...
Cleaner, coroner, and formalities.
She was sat behind him. She had my wig on. And she'd been there all day. And she had blood on her. And she was in shock. Yes, it was a cremation for the best. We both wore black and had veils, so it was easy. And after the funeral, everyone came back to the house. Hannah served up sandwiches, and I stayed out of sight.
Interesting. So I wonder where they live. They must live in a big city to not have anyone, like someone randomly get suspicious of meeting two people in two different places and within, I don't know, five people that have within 5 minutes that look exactly the same. My speech is somewhat impaired. I don't know why. I don't know. Let's look for other stuff. Wow, she's talking about a ring. Finally, something new.
No. No, he wasn't wearing his wedding ring.
Okay. 8 seconds on people.
I mean, what if they were crazy? You hear about these crazy people all the time. I mean, why would anyone who knew Simon want to kill him?
Oh, I think I'm at 75% of clip inspection because of that achievement that I just got. Here's the new one.
It's all that matters, really. The baby. Simon's dead, but the baby, that's how he will live on. Our baby.
On the 30th, I think Hannah is there. And she says that she's pregnant. At this point, she's still active as she's pregnant, as if they were one person. Well,
You have children.
oh, that's just before he shows her the pictures. Alright. It would be really cool if you could watch them individually by clicking on them here.
Yes. Like a story. A beginning, a middle, and an end.
Just like that. And I think I will end this story here. Maybe I'll come back and try to explore the archives further, but for now I just wanna know how it ends. If it has an end, that is coming now. When I say just get me from here, because I don't know how they would end it. I mean, either way, I think it's a great game. Oh, it's the kid. Of course, we're playing way later. Man, I'm a little slow sometimes. I can still only type yes and no. Well, I think I do actually. Okay. I'll do that. I'll log off. This was a super engaging thing, and I'm super happy I played it. It was excellently written. It was excellently played. The music is by the guy that has all the all the Creative Commons music out there on the internet. He's awesome. His music is just great, and it's perfect for this game. Man. I'm not sure if I got everything right, if I understood everything, but the game made a huge impact. It's an exercise in voyeurism, first of all, and it's you trying to make sense of something, to piece it together, and that's like something that we want to do always. To recognize a pattern, to recognize a structure, to glue two pieces together that fit. And I think it's a great idea for a game, and it's a game. It's a video game. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and thanks for enjoying this with me. See you again in another Let's Play. Bye bye.